what is called stress sweat. Stress, jeez. Like I was just a little tilted. Today we're going to discuss 5 signs that you could have social anxiety, and I will also share 3 ways you can overcome it, so make sure you stick around towards the end to get those helpful tools. Now let's get into it. First, let's define social anxiety, and according to the DSM, or Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, it is characterized by a marked fear or anxiety about one or more social situations in which the individual is exposed to possible scrutiny by others, like meeting new people, giving a speech, or having someone watch you do something like eat or work on something. We also have to fear that we will act in a way or show anxiety symptoms that will be negatively evaluated. Social situations almost always provoke fear or anxiety, and therefore we avoid them or endure them with intense fear or anxiety. Now, these feelings of fear and anxiety are out of proportion to the actual threat posed by the social situation. And these feelings are persistent, lasting for 6 months or more. Also, social anxiety is different from shyness because being shy is a personality trait and is something manageable. Whereas social anxiety is a mental illness that causes uncontrollable worry, and it impairs our ability to function in our life. And I have a whole video on the difference between social anxiety and shyness if you want to learn more. Since the diagnostic criteria doesn't really tell us how social anxiety can look or what it can feel like, let's get into those 5 signs. And the first sign is that we are super self-conscious. Since a lot of social anxiety stems from our fear that we will do something embarrassing or someone won't like us, we can become acutely aware of everything we do and say, not to mention how we look. We can try and think through what we plan to say before we say it, or try to play out how people will respond to us or react. And we can even try and mimic other people's behavior so that we don't look strange or stand out. And we can struggle to concentrate, make eye contact, and communicate what we're thinking. This can make it hard for us to be present in conversations or even keep up with what's being said. And that can in turn affect our work or school, not to mention our relationships. Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. This year's theme is Together for Mental Health. It can be helpful to hear from others who have been through tough times too, and to remind us that we're not alone in our struggles. BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional therapy, and you can apply for financial aid during the sign-up process. And they accept HSA benefits. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and you get matched with a therapist in 48 hours. And you can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. This mental health month, if you or someone you know is struggling, please share BetterHelp with them. That's better, H-E-L-P, and you can use my link to get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Kati. Number 2, we fear regular social situations and avoid them as much as possible. It's normal to be a bit nervous or anxious when we're performing in front of people or meeting someone for the first time. But when we have social anxiety, it would be hard for us to be a part of a normal social situation, like going to a short lunch with friends we've known for years or asking a colleague for a quick question about work. We can put off these social situations or look for ways around them so that we don't have to put ourselves in that uncomfortable position. Many of my patients with social anxiety were relieved to get to work from home these past 2 years because it gave them a break from all of that, and they were finally able to work without intense levels of anxiety. Number 3, we replay social interactions over and over again. I had this patient years ago who came to me because she wasn't sleeping well, and she couldn't figure out what was causing it. She had been to her regular doctor, who then referred her to me. And after multiple sessions, she disclosed that when she laid down to go to sleep, she would replay each and every social interaction she had had that day and judge her responses. This would take her hours. And even when she'd finished going through all of them, she felt the need to dig into the ones that she thought went poorly and go over them yet again. And this need to play and replay our social interactions is a huge sign that we're struggling with social anxiety. Number 4, we have digestive issues that pop out of nowhere. When it comes to this sign, we need to first, obviously, rule out any medical issues that could cause the nausea, loud gurgling stomach, and possibly diarrhea. But if there isn't any organic cause, it could be linked to our social anxiety. When we are stressed, our body releases hormones and neurotransmitters that can negatively affect the balance of bacteria in our gut and the way that our intestines move waste through our digestive tract. This can cause bloating, gas, nausea, diarrhea, and many other digestive issues. And long-term effects of this stress on our system can also lead to things like acid reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, and it can cause a flare-up if we've already been diagnosed with Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. Number 5, excessive sweating. Regular sweating happens when we work out or are outside in the hot sun, and it's done to cool our body down and regulate our temperature. It is released from our endocrine glands and is composed of potassium, water, and salt. That type of sweat is actually different from what is called stress sweat. Stress sweat is released from apocrine glands and is made up of fatty acids and proteins. When our body is reacting to our strong worry that we are going to be embarrassed, or as we relive a social interaction that didn't go well, our body begins to heat up. We feel ashamed, and our face, back, and neck can all start to get really hot. And that's when our apocrine glands release sweat to help cool us down. If we're feeling anxious and overwhelmed most of the time, we can find ourselves sweating constantly and struggle to get it to stop. As always, I don't just want to leave you with the signs, but also offer 3 ways that we can better manage our symptoms of social anxiety. Number 1, build up our resources for calming our system down. Since our anxiety symptoms increase the more agitated we become, it's best to take some time and figure out what helps us feel better. Is it taking a short break from people? Maybe deep breathing helps. Or doing a full body shake. As you know, that's a personal fave. So try out some different coping skills and see which ones can be resources for you as you try to manage your symptoms of social anxiety. 2, gradual exposure therapy. Meaning that once we have our resources down pat, we are going to have to put them to good use and slowly introduce ourselves to anxiety-producing situations. Make a list going from least anxiety-producing to most and slowly make your way through it using your resources. Could we imagine ourselves doing some of them first, just in our head? Maybe bring a supportive person with us when we go to first try it out. The goal here is to prove to our brain that what we thought was going to be so terrible really isn't that bad, and thus stopping that annoying anxiety feeling. And another reason that I love this treatment is because it rarely needs to be repeated, meaning that once we're able to work our way through our list, we don't have to keep working at it. Sure, when things are intensely stressful, we may need a booster session here or there, but it's really rare. So go ahead and give this one a try. Number 3, notice your self-talk and try to move it into a more neutral place. We spend so much of our time talking trash to ourselves about things that we said or should have said or weird ways we acted around important people. Stop. Pay attention to the conversation that you're having with yourself. And I challenge you to move it into a more neutral place using bridge statements. Meaning that instead of letting our brain tell us that, I'm such a weirdo and no one likes me, I'm going to push back. And instead, I'm going to tell myself, I may be a little bit different from others, but thinking like that doesn't help anything. Now, I know that new thought, it isn't a positive one, but it's not negative either. And trust me when I tell you that you will feel that difference. I hope you found this all helpful. Please feel free to share any of your tips, tools, or whatever thoughts you have in those comments down below. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Oh yes, finish him! And then it oh my god, I used to love, I'd always have to be the girl with the hair and she'd be like, yeah!
You're the fastest one to tell you.
I think so.
Yeah.